You know, recently, as a lot of you probably know by now, I obtained a new Blu-ray player for my house. It's actually for my room. And in addition to that, I also purchased what is known as the Electric City HDMI to AV converter, which basically allows me to watch my Blu-ray player on my regular television, which only supports AV. Now, the Blu-ray player, as I pretty much mentioned, allows you to watch it in the ratio that your TV is in. Whether it's 4:3, 16:9, you name it. It can automatically do that. You can put it as a native, whatever. It also allows you to choose the HDMI output. Video output allows you to either watch it in 1080p, which could not be a good idea, especially if you're watching it through 4:3 and such, or you can go the route of 480, which I did, because that's the standard native progressiveness of the TV, so that helps out in the long run. The reason I also bought one, because quite honestly, like I said, I live with my mom, and the other Blu-ray player we have is in the living room, and it being in the living room kind of right now enables me to, well not enable, but basically enables me to watch some Blu-rays in there or DVDs in there, unless she's out doing something. Either she's out of town, out working in Livermore, or she's out doing something else. I can't really watch any Blu-rays or DVDs in there because she's constantly watching her stuff, or she's listening to her music and things. So that's why I bought one. But anyway, I also bought it because I wanted to watch my Blu-rays that I bought, and also watch the movies the way they are. And I can tell you this, when you watch the Avengers and it has that 7.1 and you watch it with a 5.1 surround sound, it sounds awesome. It really sounds great. No matter what people say. I mean, I understand that if you had it 7.1 surround sound just as probably sound a little bit better, but still. Another reason as well is because I like to watch certain special features which you can only watch when you get the Blu-ray. And one of the special features I watched was from the Superman Doomsday Blu-ray. And the more I watched both of the features, the more I was like, if only Archie Comics and Sega of America teamed up with whatever animation studio and video brand there is out there, they could pretty much do the same thing for Sonic and the Sonic comics. I mean, when you think about it, there's a lot of story arcs, past and present, that could be easily adapted or loosely adapted into a movie, into an animated film, just like DC Universe original movies has done with some of the comic book arcs that they have taken from all the various comic books, like Superman Doomsday, loosely adapted from Death of Superman. Justice League War, adapted from the New 52 Origins of Justice League. Son of Batman, adapted from, the same story. And the list goes on. The list goes on. I mean, Dark Knight Returns, adapted from, of course, the comic of the same name. And to me, I look at this, and I say to myself, why can't Archie and Sega team up and do the same thing for Sonic? I mean, you got a Sonic movie in the works by Sony, so why not probably go with Sony, probably pick out an animation studio, an anime studio, like let's say Marvel has done for some of their movies, and go in that direction, and really hype up the new Sonic movie coming, by bringing out direct-to-video, direct-to-Blu-ray, DVD, digital HD movies. Like I said, they got a whole library of stuff they can adapt from, with the comics. I mean, the most influential or the most well-known that they can adapt from would be Endgame. You could loosely adapt that or fully adapt that if you wanted to. There's the recent Countdown to Chaos. You could do that. There's the Iron Dominion arc. There's, believe it or not, you can, if they wanted to, you can go the Mecha Sally arc. You can go the Mecha Madness arc. You know, whatever you want. They could go in those directions. They really could. You know, you could go in a direction of originality. Maybe do something original that's kind of takes things from the comic and even from the game world, and you could put it into a movie. I mean, it would be, to me, it'd be an awesome feat. It really would be. You know, you could, you know, you could do, you could do a two-part Blu-ray DVD release like they did with, like DC did with Dark Knight Returns. You know, you could do a part 1 that kind of leads into Sonic 225, and then you could do a part 2, which is the Sonic Genesis, and then you could do a part 3, which would be the 230 adaptation, which would lead into the Mecha Sally arc, and you could kind of probably tie that down a little bit, loosen it down a little bit, and then you, continuity-wise, you could lead that into the Worlds Collide deal, and maybe make some kind of agreement with Capcom to bring that into movie format, and then go from there and adapt into things like Countdown to Chaos and Soma, and you know, like I say, adapt into Countdown to Chaos, and you know, all the other stories out there, all the other stories out there that have come, are currently here, and will be coming to the comics real soon. I mean, you could do that, and like I said, you got Endgame, which is very well known. You could do that. You could do Darkest Storm if they wanted to do that. Iron Dominion, like I mentioned. You know, you could do an adaptation of Sonic Adventure, the comics version, the comics adaptation of Sonic Adventure. You could do that. What else could you? You could do the 175 to 177 arc. I mean, the list just goes on and on. I mean, there's a whole peripheral of arcs for the comic that you can do, and you could even do individual, and they could even do individual arcs, even if they're 30-minute shorts or 1-hour shorts, something like that, 1-hour features, just like DC did with the showcase deal. You could do the same for the comics, for the characters in the comics. Like with Sally, you could do her Princess Sally miniseries arc. You could compress that down into 30 minutes or 45 minutes. Or you could take what's now known as the Sonic Origins deal and do the same thing there. The point is, I think Archie Comics and Sega need to team up together, probably work with the people that are going to distribute the Sonic movie, which is Sony. Find an animation studio, whether it's an anime studio, whether it's a studio that does decent animation or whatever, and go that distance. I think Sony does animation, so why not go there too? But find an animation studio or an anime studio that does some decent animation and go in that direction. Because I think when you look at it, you have 1, 2, 3. You just have a lot of stories you can work with. And to me, you guys, some of the best ones out there. Endgame is a good one. Countdown to Chaos, Darkest Storm, the Sonic Adventure comic book adaptation. You know, 175 to 177. I mean, heck, you even have the arc that kind of climax into issue 75, the building to issue 75, where we find out that the Robotnik that's there is really Robo Robotnik, aka now known as Eggman in the comics. You can go in that direction. You know? I mean, again, there's so many directions they could go in. And then, of course, you can lean on Sonic Universe as well for adaptations, and that could work too. I mean, Journey to the East could be a good adaptation. You know, the Treasure Team Tango, with the people like that or not, could be a good adaptation. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, you get this whole peripheral of story arcs that you can do. Whether you think they would be good or not be good, I think it would be decent for them. I think it would definitely give an element. I mean, you could even do the 198 to 200 arc. And then, like I said, you could do the Iron Dominion arc if you feel like it. I mean, things like that. And like I said, you could do an arc that builds up to 225, and then the Sonic Genesis, and then 230, and all that, and basically make that like a 2-3 part DVD Blu-ray release. The point is, I see potential. I mean, if DC Comics and Marvel Comics can do it with their stuff, mostly DC, who's doing better at the animation stuff than they are the theatrical stuff, then I think Archie Comics and Sega together could do the same thing for Sonic. And that's not a lie. That's coming from a fan that sees that potential. Whether it's a true straight-on adaptation or a loose adaptation. That's just my opinion, and that's what I see, could be done. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think it can be done? And which arcs do you think would be great would be great to adapt, either loosely or straight on, by Archie and Sega, and whatever anime or animation studio they get to get it distributed by Sony? Tell me what you think.